Believe it or not, when she stops calling, when she pulls away, that silence isn't empty, it's loaded. Not with words, but with emotions, expectations, and one very specific purpose. She's not just being quiet. She's sending a message so loud, it echoes through your thoughts all day long. And here's the part that stings. She wants you to feel it, not fix it, not argue, not chase. She wants you to sit in the discomfort. And if you don't understand what that silence is really saying, you'll walk straight into a trap you won't see coming. Today we break down the Stoic truth behind her silence, why she uses it, what it means, and how the masculine mindset responds without losing power, peace, or dignity. Because sometimes, the quietest woman has the loudest strategy. Let's be clear. When a woman gives you the silent treatment, she's not just ignoring you, she's communicating without speaking. It's like a protest without a sign, like a ghost haunting a house it once owned. Here's what most men get wrong. They rush to fill the silence. They text, they call, they apologize, even when they don't know what for. They panic, and guess what? That's exactly what she wants. Her silence is a power move, not always malicious, but always intentional. It forces you into emotional limbo, where your mind races, your insecurities speak louder, and suddenly you start to question your own reality. It's like being ghosted by a woman who still watches your stories and breathes your air. The digital silence can feel even louder than spoken rejection. Why? Because it gives your mind room to create stories, assumptions, and worst-case scenarios. But here's a Stoic truth. Silence only controls the man who fears stillness. And if you fear stillness, you're already off balance. Stay with me, because what she's doing next is a test. And most men fail that test because they try to fix something they don't even understand. Silence is her remote control, and she's watching which button makes you react. If you blow up, she confirms you're emotionally unstable. If you beg, she confirms she holds the power. If you chase, she knows you fear abandonment. Let's pause right here. What if her silence is just a magnifying glass, revealing how much control she truly has over your emotions? Here's the hard truth. Many women use silence as a mirror. They want you to see your own fear, your own need for validation. And in that reflection, you either rise into self-awareness or you fall into emotional chaos. She wants to know, can you hold frame? Can you sit in the unknown without grasping for her energy? This isn't just a communication freeze. It's a psychological experiment. And guess what? You're the subject. But don't panic. Because in just a moment, I'll tell you the one thing she never expects you to do next. Most men feel like they have to do something. Send a text, make a move, clarify what's wrong. But that's exactly the trap. So, how do you win when silence is the weapon? Simple. You don't play the emotional tug of war. You don't let her pull you off center. You respond with presence, not panic. With stillness, not chasing. Because a Stoic man doesn't fear silence. He uses it. Instead of blowing up her phone, you go silent too. Not out of revenge, but out of respect for yourself. You give her the space she created, and you thrive in it. You invest your attention inward, into your mission, your discipline, your power. Why do so many men think silence means weakness, when it actually reveals who's more centered? When you match her stillness with self-respect, she starts to question something powerful. Why isn't he trying to fix this? Why does he seem unshaken? And suddenly, her silence starts echoing back at her. The same vacuum she used to draw you in now pulls her into her own reflection. But wait, there's a twist. Because what happens next will either pull her closer or push her permanently away. And most men don't even see the turning point when it arrives. She didn't anticipate your emotional independence, your ability to detach with grace, to say, if you need space, take it. I'll be over here, building. This resets the power dynamic completely. Now she's the one thinking, did I overplay my hand? Why isn't he crumbling? Is he moving on? You see, the feminine craves emotional safety, but it also tests emotional leadership. And when you stop chasing validation, you stop bleeding power. It's like taking the batteries out of her remote and handing her a book on stoicism. But here's the key. You must hold this frame even when your ego screams, even when you want to send just one text. Because the moment you break silence first, she knows your emotions own you. But if you hold the line, she'll come back. Not just curious, but respectful. And when she does, you better know how to lead the next phase. Because re-engagement is not reconciliation. Let's circle back to the core question. What does she want you to feel? She wants you to feel confusion. She wants you to feel anxious, to feel the absence of her, as a punishment for not reading her mind. But deeper than that, she wants to know you felt something, that her absence mattered. And this is where masculine emotional intelligence kicks in. You can feel the sting without reacting in weakness. You can notice her silence without making it your story. You see, true power doesn't mean you're numb. It means you're disciplined. That's the difference between emotional slavery and stoic freedom. So, next time her silence enters the room, ask yourself, is this silence trying to hurt me or trying to teach me? Because when you understand the lesson behind her silence, you stop fearing it and start mastering it. Here's a pattern many men miss. Silence often precedes clarity. It's a pause in the conversation, an invitation to reflect, grow, and evolve. But most men fill it with noise, and noise never creates space for real connection. Imagine a warrior in battle. He doesn't charge blindly. He waits. He observes. He waits for the right moment to strike. Your relationship is no different. Silence is the battlefield. Your response is the strategy. And in just a moment, I'll reveal the final phase of the silent treatment, something most men never realize until it's too late. Here's the final phase, and it separates the leaders from the lost. Eventually, she'll speak again, but it won't be with an apology. It'll be a soft re-entry, a subtle text, a random meme, a hey, don't get fooled. This is not just casual, it's a temperature check. She wants to see if you're still emotionally available without her doing the work. Here's what you do. You respond, but on your terms. You're calm, direct, present, but not desperate. Because now, you've learned what most men never figure out. Her silence wasn't punishment, it was information. And the man who decodes it can never be manipulated by it again. Think about that for a second. You're no longer the emotional puppet on her strings. You're the calm, steady anchor in the storm. And that anchor is irresistible. But there's more. Once you decode her silence, you begin to see the invisible rules she plays by. You'll notice when she uses silence as a test, and when it's a sign of deeper issues. You'll learn when to wait and when to act. And most importantly, you'll reclaim your emotional freedom. Because the silent treatment loses power the moment you stop fearing it. It's a Stoic paradox. The less you need her attention to feel whole, the more she will respect you. And that respect creates attraction. Now, if you're thinking, but isn't silence sometimes a sign she's losing interest? That's a fair question. Silence can mean many things. It can be frustration, confusion, a cry for help, or a way to protect herself from getting hurt. The difference is in how you respond. A man with a masculine mindset sees silence as data, not drama. He doesn't overreact. He doesn't overthink. He observes. He reflects. He responds with wisdom. And that wisdom is magnetic. Let me ask you, when was the last time you felt truly comfortable in silence? Not the awkward silence after an argument, but a silence filled with mutual understanding, where no words were needed. That silence is rare, and that's what you're aiming for. A relationship where silence isn't a weapon, but a space of peace. Now, here's a quick humorous truth to reset your mind. If silence was easy to handle, dating coaches would be out of business. But since it's not, mastering silence becomes your secret weapon. Remember, a strong man doesn't fear silence, he commands it. So, if you want to be that man, it's time to shift your mindset. Shift from chasing to leading, from reacting to responding, from fear to confidence. And here's a cliffhanger for you. What if the silent treatment isn't about her at all? What if it's really about your own emotional growth? Think about it. The silent treatment forces you to look inward, to build resilience, to practice discipline, to become the man she needs, not the man she wants in moments of weakness. That's the real power behind silence. So, next time she goes quiet, don't panic, don't chase, don't guess. Sit with it, feel it, learn from it. Because on the other side of silence, there's clarity, growth, and a stronger connection, if you play it right. If you want more insights like these, hit the subscribe button. And if you've ever been caught in a silence that shook your confidence, drop A in the comments. Remember, sometimes silence says more than goodbye. It says, "Are you strong enough to hear me?" See you in the next one.